Today I'm gonna play GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. I have a lot of stories about this one. I think I'm gonna cheat too because I want to be able to talk and play at the same time. Oh, boop a doop boop a doop a doop a doop boop a doop a doop a doop boop a doop a doop a doop boop. There we go. But I'm gonna turn on invincibility, all guns, infinite ammo. I'm not gonna turn on the big head mode or tiny bond because that's just weird. Paintball's good. I don't want to start at the dam because the dam's boring. It's damn boring. The thing about GoldenEye that's interesting is that when it first came out, multiplayer was not the highlight. It was not the focus. Most people didn't care that it was multiplayer. They didn't know that it was multiplayer for that matter. GoldenEye originally was just marketed with its single player content. Holy crap, it's hard to do this and talk. Who's shooting at me? You shut up. And you shut up. And you shut up. And you shut up. But okay, so this came out in August of 1997. All the marketing, everything was geared towards the single player content. It was like, oh, it's James Bond for the first time ever. You can really be James Bond, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't until after launch and after release that everybody sort of figured out, like, holy crap, this game has awesome multiplayer. And the truth about all that is that GoldenEye didn't even have multiplayer until the very, very, very end of development, when it was added in secret by members of the development team. Like, Nintendo and the Rare management didn't even know that they were putting it in until it was already installed. And of course, then it went on to become the defining feature of that whole generation. 4-player split-screen multiplayer. And it almost didn't even happen. I rented GoldenEye. I was the first person in my town to rent it. And I know I was because I was there when they put it on the shelf at the rental store. That's a weird thing to keep track of, but I remember. But so I originally played this game not even knowing it had multiplayer in it, and thought it was great. And then my sister's friends were over, and no, they weren't girls, they were a couple guys and like their sister or something. So they came over, and I'm playing this game in the living room, and they're all like, oh, what's that? GoldenEye, it's cool. And then we looked at the menu. Oh, it has multiplayer. So then, of course, I get out my other controllers and we start playing. And it was game-changing. It was mind-blowing. It was like, holy crap. So that story sucks. Here's a more interesting one. So the PlayStation 2 came out on October 26th, 2000. And Andrew and I camped out that week because it came out on a Thursday, and I was still in school, in high school. Andrew had graduated that spring, so he didn't care, but it was a big deal to me because that weekend was going to be a 4-day weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday we got off. So we camped. We waited in line for the midnight release of the PS2 at Walmart it was Wednesday night into Thursday morning. We waited in line, and we didn't get one. We were like next in line to get it, and they ran out. What you doing over here, Trevelyan? But so we didn't get a PS2. We went across the street to Kmart and slept in the car until that morning when Kmart opened up and we could buy one. And then we had to drive back across the street to Walmart so I could buy Zelda Majora's Mask. So we had basically stayed up all night, and then we went home, And I had been up all night, so I went to bed. And at like 10 o'clock or something, my mom comes in and is like, oh, you have a phone call. And it's this kid that we used to be friends, hadn't really been for a while. He calls me out of the blue, and he's all like, hey, how do you beat the second level in GoldenEye? And I'm like, you just walk through the door at the end. And he's like, but in the movie he got on the conveyor belt. And I said, yeah, you can do that too. And then he's like, okay, bye. And then we never really talked again. But that was just so weird. Like, years after we weren't really friends anymore, he just calls me out of the blue to ask me about freaking GoldenEye. That's hilarious. You know, once we actually figured out that this game had multiplayer, then it became like a weekly ritual of like everybody would come to my house and we'd play GoldenEye. Oh, remember you could shoot their hats off. That was crazy. Get the hell out of the way, you idiot. But I remember another thing that we would always do is because we had a friend who was a computer nerd. And in order to make him mad, we would always blow up all the computers. And he'd get so mad. He's like, oh, computers. Playing this game again is like, how the hell did we ever play these games? These controls are so terrible. And we used to play it 4-player multiplayer on a 19-inch TV. On a blurry-ass N64. Before this game came out, I didn't know anything about James Bond. I had never watched it. I knew nothing because my parents were like, oh, it's stupid. Kind of like how my parents, when, like, Godzilla, they're always like, Godzilla's dumb. So I never watched Godzilla until I was much older. But so once this game came out and I was all like, James Bond is cool! Then I would, every year, TBS would have the Bond-a-thon. So you'd watch James Bond movies for like 15 days. And that was always great. But I watched GoldenEye first, of course, because of the movie, and then I watched all the others. And now I'm a pretty big James Bond fan, I would think. I would like to say. I've been meaning to do a James Bond movie ranking, but I'd like to watch the movies again. But people always kind of bemoan licensed games and like, oh, what are they for? What's the point? Well, I'm a good example of what the point is. Because I didn't care about James Bond until GoldenEye came out, and now I love it. And I wouldn't have ever watched the movies or given a crap if it wasn't for this. So that was extremely effective marketing. Back in the day, we actually did get almost all of the cheats legit. As in, I had to figure out how to play on super hard difficulty levels and figure all that stuff out. We didn't get everything, though. At some point, we borrowed a Game Shark from a friend and then got all the rest of the cheats that way. But I was obsessed. Like, I'd go home from school and get all the cheats I could and then go brag to my friend. And he's like, I don't care! That was a different friend, not the computer dork friend. He's a different friend that turned into a Trumper. We would talk about video games, and I think he would like PlayStation stuff just to like spite me. There. I didn't get Natalia, but who cares? And when Perfect Dark came out, of course, that was a huge deal. And actually, how much I loved GoldenEye directly led into my eventual career as a games journalist. Because I liked GoldenEye so much and I was so excited about Perfect Dark that I got a position at a Perfect Dark fan site. You know, from working at a fan site, I then went to college and started at another site, Games First, and then got a job at About.com. But it all sort of started with freaking GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. Hey, it's Boris Grishenko. Don't mind me, I just look after computer. Ah, my computer. I am very upset. This was Eric versus 365, where I'm playing a different The cat just touched my butt. This is Eric versus 365, where I'm playing a different game every day for a year. Be sure to check out psxboxindies.com for daily blog posts about the games we're playing and the videos that we're making. Thanks for watching.